Hello ninjas! How are we doing today? Welcome to our very first gymnastics class as part of our Skyhook's homeschool curriculum. Let's start off by taking our shoes and socks off like we do at the beginning of every gymnastics class that we have here. Now, we are going to start off with a quick warm-up. It's going to be 2.5 minutes long on this warm-up, but you're going to run it twice. So for you guys at home, it's going to be a 5-minute long warm-up. I'm going to set up a timer here. Every 30 seconds, we're going to switch what we're doing. We're going to start off by jogging in place. Then we're going to move into high knees in place, butt kickers in place, bunny hops, and some shoulder circles. Alrighty? We're going to run it together the first time. You can then pause it and either restart or go ahead and just complete it on your own again. Let's get started. 2.5 minutes on the clock. We're going to start by jogging in place. Great work, everybody. Keep up that energy. Almost there. 5 seconds to go. And we are moving into high knees. Really push through those toes, getting your knees up as high as you possibly can. Breathe in slowly through your nose. And exhale sharply out of your mouth. Keep that energy up. Getting those knees as high up as you can. All right, moving into butt kickers in place. Keep those knees directly underneath you. Bringing your heels all the way up to your bottom. Keep it up, everybody. 10 more seconds here. All right, bunny hops in place are next. Arms up, push through your toes. Keep those legs nice and straight. Bouncing on the ball of your foot. Breathe in deep. Just a few more seconds. All right, and now for the next 30 seconds, we're gonna do some shoulder circles going forward for 15 seconds, and then the next 15 seconds, we're gonna go backwards. As full range of motion as you can go. Nice big circles. And now we're gonna go backwards. Great work, everybody, keep it up. And that's time. Like I said, you guys can now either pause the video and do that one more time, or you may rewind and do it along with me again. Now, once you guys take care of that, we're gonna move on to our stretching. First thing we're gonna do is come down to our knees. We're gonna clasp our hands together, elbows pointing down, and we move our wrists in circles. Go ahead and go the other way. Try to make sure you're not moving your whole arm, your arms all the way around. Focus it on the wrists, keeping the elbows pointing down towards the floor. All right, great. Now, we're gonna come up to our knees. Fingers pointing towards your knees, palms flat on the ground. Now, if you are able to keep your hands nice and flat on the ground, and sit back onto your heels, even better. But make sure that this isn't happening where your hands come up off the ground like that. Nice and flat on the ground, hold it for a few seconds. You should be feeling a nice stretch along the bottom part of your forearms. And now we're gonna flip our hands over. Really important that when our hands are in this next position that you don't put a lot of weight down on your wrist. Be gentle. Now the backs of your hands are gonna go down to the floor. Keep your arms straight. Don't allow this to happen. Don't let your elbows flare out. Nice straight arms. Just enough weight on my wrists to feel a stretch along the top portion of my forearms now. Hold for a few seconds and shake it out. All right, let's move on to shoulders. We're gonna start with a traditional shoulder stretch. Reach one arm across, bring it closer to your chest by pulling it in with your other arm. Make sure you're not hiking your shoulder up like this. Keep it nice and low away from your ear. Hold it for a few seconds. Continue to breathe. Doing great, everybody. And switch sides. Hold for 10 to 15 seconds. Again, keeping that shoulder nice and low, not letting it travel up towards your ear. Excellent. Now for a nice tricep stretch here, reach behind you. Grab your elbow with your other hand. Lean gently in the direction that you are pulling to feel the stretch along your triceps. And if you lean, you should also feel it along your lats a little bit as well. Hold there for a few seconds. And switch sides. Great work, everybody. Hold for just a few seconds. Breathing through the entire process. Excellent. Let's move on to lower body. Let's start by sitting down, bringing one foot on top of our other knee. Grab your foot, and you can also grab your leg so that you're not moving your whole leg around. You want to focus on just the ankle. Ankle circles here. Loosen those up so that when we're doing cartwheels and we land on our feet, don't sprain anything. Nice big circles. And then go the other way. Great work, everybody. Now I know that it's very tempting to just do this with your foot, but you are not going to get as much range of motion as when you grab it with your hand and help it along. Circles with the other foot. Go the other direction. Really loosen those up. Great work. Let's move into pike stretch. We're now gonna straighten out our legs, squeeze them together, point our toes, and we're gonna reach as far down our feet as we can. Folding forward, keeping those legs straight, not letting the knees pop up off the ground. Hold it there for a few seconds. Try to relax deeper into your stretch with every exhale. Great work. Now, same position, but we're gonna pull the toes back. Grab your feet, straighten out those knees. Try to hover your heels off the ground like I'm doing if you are able to, and hold for a few seconds. Breathing throughout it. All right, excellent work, everybody. Let's move into a straddle stretch. So now we're gonna bring our legs as wide as we can while still being able to keep them straight. So if you go super wide and your knees start to pop off the ground, maybe just bring them in a little bit more so that your legs stay nice and straight. We don't want to let them pop up off the ground. From this position, we're gonna go and reach over to one side, and then we're gonna lean into it, reaching overhead and trying to tap our other hand with the one over your head. Hold there for a few seconds, keeping those toes pointed, legs straight. And let's go over to the other side. Grab that foot, lean into it, reaching overhead. Hold for a few seconds, keep those toes pointed. Doing good, everyone. Hold, hold, hold. And come on out of that. Great job, everybody. Now that we're all warmed up and stretched, we can get to our skills for the day. We're gonna focus on 4 of our basic skills that we teach at Skyhook. We're gonna start off with some candlestick rolls, followed by some forward rolls on flat ground, We're gonna practice our cartwheels and we're gonna practice our handstands against the wall. Let's start off with our candlestick rolls. Now, I'm gonna do it sideways so you guys get a really good view of what we're doing today. I'm gonna start by standing nice and tall with my arms reaching overhead. All right, no bent elbows, reach up high, pull those arms as far behind your head as you can. And from there, you're gonna squat down, roll back, point your legs up into the air, come back up to your feet. Some things to keep in mind. My arms are gonna come all the way to the floor as I roll back, because that's gonna serve as a helmet. That's gonna make it so that my head doesn't go to the ground first. Instead, my arms are gonna come all the way to the ground. Another thing to keep in mind, arms stay overhead the entire time. So as you're coming back out of your roll, out of your candlestick roll, reach in front of you if you have to, as opposed to putting your hands on the floor. Like this, arms go all the way down. Instead of putting my hands on the floor to stand up, I am instead gonna reach for an imaginary friend in front of me and come up to my feet. Now that you know how to do your candlestick roll, go ahead and pause the video. Do 10 repetitions with as good form as you possibly can, keeping these tips in mind. And when you're done, go ahead and restart the video and we'll move on to our next skill. Let's go into forward rolls. Now, gymnastics forward rolls. We're gonna start nice and tall with our feet fairly close together. We're gonna reach our hands down and place them in front of our feet. We can let our knees bend slightly, but try not to sink all the way down. Alrighty? Just a slight bend of the knees, hands in front of your feet. Tuck your chin to your chest. And then you're gonna start to tip forward, bending your elbows as you do so. Now, a really important thing to avoid here is letting the top of your head come to the floor. As we roll forward, we want the top of our back and our shoulders to be the first thing that comes into contact with the ground. So hands down, tuck that chin, start to lean forward, bending the arms. Reach in front at the end, just like with the candlestick rolls, and coming up to your feet. A couple of things to keep in mind here. You want your hands fairly close to your feet, because if you reach all the way out here, you're gonna have to jump into your roll, and then you're gonna slam down on your back, and we don't want that. So hands a little bit closer to your feet, and make sure to tuck your knees as you are rolling. If you don't tuck your knees, you're most likely gonna end up doing that instead of being able to come up to your feet. So we're gonna tuck our knees to our chest and reach in front to come up to our feet. Alrighty, that's your gymnastics forward roll. Go ahead and pause the video again, complete 10 repetitions, and come right back to us so we can move on to our next skill, which is cartwheels. You guys back? Let's get into cartwheels. Now, if you have a nice straight line like this one at home, that would be ideal, because when you do a cartwheel, you want to stay in as straight of a line as you possibly can. We're going to start in a gymnastics lunge. That means I'm going to bring my feet fairly far apart from each other. Whatever leg I have in front, those toes are going to be pointing straight ahead. Leg behind me is going to be slightly rotated out to the side, and only my heel is on the line, as you can see. Arms up, and I'm trying to form as straight of a line as I can from the tips of my fingers all the way down to that back leg. All right, as straight of a line as I can. And as I go into my cartwheel, because from my particular stance I have my left leg in front, my left hand is gonna come down to the ground first, and my fingers are gonna point to the left, right? So left hand comes down first, my right hand is gonna reach beyond it. Alrighty? If I were to stand the other way, if I had my right foot in front, I would do the exact same thing, but in the opposite direction. So now my fingers are all gonna point to my right, and my right hand is gonna come down first. Right hand comes down first, left reaches beyond it. Make sense? Hand placement is very, very important in a cartwheel. Oftentimes I see people trying their cartwheels with their left leg in front, and then they reach down with their right, and it just throws the whole thing off. So make sure that whatever leg you have in front, that same side hand comes down to the ground first. Now to finish our cartwheel, we're gonna try to let our legs travel overhead, which is gonna require a little momentum. So I'm gonna dive gently, dive a little bit into that cartwheel. Again, since I have my left leg in front, left, right, and then my legs are gonna go up and over, landing one at a time on the other side. And I'm gonna try my best to stay in a straight line and to finish in a gymnastics lunge, but facing the direction I came from. So, left leg in front, gymnastics lunge, left hand comes down first, as straight of a line as I can make, and I'm gonna finish in a gymnastics lunge, looking at the way I came from. All right, one more time. And we end in a lunge, facing the direction we came from. Now that you know how to do a cartwheel properly, go ahead and practice 10 times, and then come back to us. All right, everybody, welcome back. Our final skill we're gonna practice today is our wall handstands. Coming over to the wall with me. Now, you can just walk your feet up to begin with, and then once you get a little bit more comfortable with that, you can kick up into your wall handstand. For now, we're gonna walk our feet up. So, I'm gonna start off by standing nice and close to the wall, bending down, putting my hands on the floor, walking my feet up, forming a nice straight line, and then I'm gonna try to walk my hands as close to the wall as I can, pushing into the ground through my shoulders, creating tension throughout my body. And then we can come out of that safely by cartwheeling out to the side. Once that feels easy and natural, you can work on kicking up, and we kick up by doing the exact same, by starting in the exact same position as our cartwheel, so a nice gymnastics lunge, but this time instead of tipping sideways, my hands are both gonna go straight down, and as my arms and my head travel together towards the floor, my back leg is gonna travel up. Those two things have to happen at the same time. All right, so we're in our lunge, we're gonna pivot down, arms and head moving together, kick, almost there, just need a little bit more heel drive on that one, push through those shoulders, get your legs to the wall, press into the ground through your shoulders, really work on engaging your core, and come back down with control into your lunge. Great work, everybody. 10 attempts at your wall handstands, either form. You could start off with 10 attempts walking up and then 10 kick-ups. Great job. Once you guys have done that, we can move on to our final piece for today, which will be a bit of core conditioning. Ready? Let's do some core work. Now, the first thing we're gonna work on today is hollow hold progressions. A hollow hold looks like this, and you should not be able to put anything under your low back when a hollow hold is performed correctly. But that is very, very challenging, so we're gonna work on progressions that you can work on at home to strengthen your core and really get the most out of your hollow hold. We're gonna start off with some crunch holds. So we're gonna lay flat, we're gonna bring our hands behind our head, we're gonna crunch, lifting our shoulder blades off the ground, keeping our low back flat on the ground, and we're gonna hold for 5 seconds. 3, 4, 5, and rest. I want you to do as many of these as you can, holding for 5 seconds each time. If this feels too easy, you can move on to the next step, which is crunch holds with your knees raised. Now, make sure you're not tucking your knees up. That makes it a little bit too easy. Keep your knees above your hips or beyond them. Alrighty? Bring the hands to the back of the head. Crunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, do as many of those as you can. If that still feels a little too easy, you can work on the next step. With our legs up, we're gonna, instead of holding our head this time, we're just gonna raise our arms overhead, keeping tension on our core, keeping that low back flat on the ground. I should not be able to put a hand under there. Hold it there, 5 to 10 seconds. And once that one feels easy, you are ready to start extending your legs more and more. So from here, I can now go down here. Once that gets easy, I can keep extending and extending until I can perform a proper hollow hold with no problem. Go ahead and practice your hollow hold progressions. And let's finish with a hollow to arch roll. So for this one, we're gonna get into our hollow hold position. And we're gonna try and roll over onto our bellies without letting our feet or our hands touch the ground. All right, and I'm gonna go right back to where I came from, rolling to the side, keeping my arms and my legs off the floor, rolling from one side to the other. I'm gonna do 5 reps on one side, and then we're gonna do 5 reps in the other direction. Boy, these are hard. Almost there, everybody. Stay with me. One more. And done. Great work, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for your first online Skyhook gymnastics class. Hope you guys learned something new today, or something that you can implement into your skills to make them a little bit better. Now, as always, think of something that you are super grateful for. Take a couple of seconds. Think of something that you are super proud of yourself for attempting or improving upon today. And once you have that in mind, let's go ahead and bring our hands into the middle and finish with a big Skyhook cheer on 3. 1, 2, 3, Skyhook gymnast!